Hello, and welcome to another episode of Burger Town Garage. I cut my beard off, and she is loud. Anyways, I got a new project here today, and I know what you're saying. Did I need any more projects? No, but I got one anyways. So what I got is this lovely 2004 Chevy Impala SS. You'll note Supercharger. But this thing has been majorly neglected. Still got the stock wheels on it. Although, you know, these may have been junkyard wheels at some point. Mirror needs some love. And it does have this wonderful gold paint on it. It does have a sunroof, though, and tint that's been like halfway peeled off. Let's see, on the inside we got, you know, SS imprinted on the door cards here. We've got what looks like a foot imprinted on the dashboard. Nice little Impala SS emblem. It is unfortunately an automatic, and it does have a non-functional Android Auto head unit. We've got seat covers and steering wheel covers that look like crap and don't fit right. That's pretty typical. And, you know, headliners in pretty decent shape, except for right there where it's peeling back. But I don't think I'm going to do anything about that. We've got a cup holder. Wow. And we've got some speakers here. Look like aftermarket speakers with no grills. We've got random wires up there in the back. We do have your typical bubbling, cheap window tint in the back, along with the you know, cell phone booster antenna thing that everybody had in like the 90s. And then a missing radio antenna. And check this out. We've got the gold continuing back here, except for this one tail light that appears to have been replaced after what looks like some kind of incident there. This is paint. This isn't a wrap, by the way. This is all paint. I suspect a Mako paint job, though. And I want to say this is the original color, so I believe this is a black car before. And you might be asking yourself, what the hell? Why did you buy this thing? And the only good reason I can... Well, look at this. It was even door jammed. They got everything in here. So someone paid decent money to have this done. Like all the bolts, everything in here, even like the rubber where the wires go through. Like everything was painted. Someone spent some decent-ish money on this. I really wanted to see what the original color was, but I mean, I guess you can just look where any of the paint is flaking off and you'll be able to tell. Pretty sure it was black. Don't know why you wouldn't have just left it black, because it looked better that way. So this thing runs like crap. It leaks a ton of oil when it's running, and I'm pretty sure I've narrowed that down to oil pressure fitting on the back that failed, kind of like they do on the 4 liters on the Jeeps, where it has like an internal diaphragm and it just wears out over time and sprays oil out of it while it's running. But we've also got super leaky valve cover gaskets. And, you know, intake gaskets leaking down there, between the cylinders. I don't know what you call that. And something that I've immediately noticed, well, not immediately, it took some looking, but I don't think the firing order is right, because I believe the cylinders are, you know, 1, 3, 5, 2, 4, 6, and cylinder 1 is this one, which goes all the way here to cylinder 5. Now, why would they do that? It ran and drove off the trailer, or on and off the trailer, So I think the firing order is wrong on this. I'll have to check, but I don't know if 1 and 5 fire closely enough together to see, because where does 5 go? 5 goes to 3. 5 goes to 3. I got ghosts. And 5, or sorry, yeah, 5 goes to 3, and then 3 goes to, oh no, maybe 3 goes where it's supposed to. I'm gonna cut these zip ties off, because these have obviously been replaced, but I'm gonna cut all these zip ties off and figure out where all these plug wires go, because I don't think the firing order is correct. And you know, maybe I'll start it for a little bit. I have a new oil pressure sensor on order. It's somewhere back there on the back of the engine. You can see it from down below, but I think it's behind the oil filter. So we'll have to kind of pull it off. But by the way, what a crappy place to put an oil dipstick tube, right there. Because you pull it up and it immediately hits this motor mount here. So, interesting design on Chevy's part, but you know, whatever. We've also got the obligatory, you know, massive sub wiring. At least they did it to where you can pretty easily just delete it, I guess. Actually, oh, I was gonna say I didn't know where the battery was, but I guess it's right here. I don't know what the date on the battery is, but she's a Duralast, so you know it's good. Anyways, I'm gonna do some poking around and see what else I can find on this thing. Okay, so watch this sensor right there. That green plug is the oil pressure sensor. I'm gonna start it for like 2 seconds. Ow. And I have a drain plug down below here, or a drain pan, I should say. Hopefully I can catch it when it falls. And hopefully that's what it's leaking from, because that would be probably the easiest way. I have the wheel off in here, and you know, this is how you apparently get to the oil filter and the, you know, that whole assembly right there. So let's start it real quick and see if that's what's leaking. Fire now. That should have been enough. I don't know if that was enough. Let me see. Well, I've reviewed the footage, and it looks like that, indeed, is what has gone wrong here. But if I'm looking correctly, that looks like 2 wires coming off of that. So let's pull that off right quick and go up to O'Reilly's and see if we can get a replacement real quick. And if I can get that replaced, then I can run it long enough to check other things and find out what else is wrong in this car. Looking down below, I can already see one of the O2 sensor wires is just cut clean off. So I might grab some stuff to splice that back together, because that O2 being cut off is going to cause a 2 lean code, and it's going to flood the engine. So, and hopefully it hasn't, but it could ruin the catalytic converter already, but we'll see what we get into. I don't know how far I want to go on this car. It's never going to be nice again without spending thousands of dollars on this, and I already know that fully assembled, fully put together, this car is maybe only going to pull like 2,000, maybe 3,000 if we're feeling super optimistic. So I may just get it running, you know, get the leaks to stop, and then maybe go race it. I don't know, go drag race it or something. Put a smaller pulley on it. Look at that big old honking pulley. You could fit so much more boost in this engine, but then I'd have to tune it, and I don't know if it's worth all that. So I did double check the firing order, by the way, and it is correct. It's just the way they had it zip tied. It was kind of looped into each other, so when I pulled on the number 5 plug, it was pulling on the number 1 and so forth. But she's correct. I'll give the previous owner that. Now I've heard that you can check and change the supercharger oil, and I would almost guarantee that's never been done. I also wanted to check all the other fluids, like the brake fluid being low. That one I remember is a trouble code from before. The brake fluid isn't actually low. Oh god, that's dirty. Or maybe it is. No, actually, it's all the way up to here. So the sensor is bad, and it's throwing that brake code. I'm not terribly worried about that. The transmission fluid I do want to check, and that dipstick is somewhere for sure. I know I saw it earlier. I'm not crazy. Maybe I am. Just a little bit, but not too crazy. I was crazy once. Anyways, I'll find that later. But let me grab a oil pressure sensor and some oil, because this looks like it takes 1030. And I don't think I have that in my wonderfully overpacked garage here. My giant mess of crap over here. What we got here? 5W30. What we got here? 5W30. Oh, ATF. I didn't know I had ATF. 10W30. Hey, look at that. Well, I don't even care if it's used oil. We'll go ahead and use that. So, and we're just gonna fill it back up. So we don't need to buy new oil for this. We'll just use what we got.
Well, would you looky there? He's fixed.
Well, mostly fixed. That's weird to have the oil filter so close to the crank pulley. But hey, we're not dripping oil like a sieve anymore. Hey, she's still going to be seeping out of the valve covers, but as far as everything else goes, I think she's good. Let me open the door before I asphyxiate myself. So there we go. We got some oil burning off the manifold there, but that's to be expected because we, you know, spilled some. Also, whatever's leaking off, like leaking out of the valve covers, I mean. Sounds pretty good. Let me see if I can get the intake box off. I want to hear that supercharger. There, I got it cracked open so you can hear. Hell yeah! Seems like the supercharger's working. That smoke is concerning. Yowza. Well, there's a lot of oil on that crap. Oh well. At least it's not actively leaking anymore. At least I don't think it is. No, I don't see anything. So maybe I'll let it run and burn some of this crap off. I'd really like to soak this in some super clean maybe. And get What was I saying? So yeah, soak it in some super clean and maybe get some of this grime off here, but I don't really care that much, you know what I mean? I care a little, but not that much. There is so much oil just caked on to the headers from the valve covers. I think this valve cover wouldn't be terribly hard to get to. You'd have to take this mount off, probably. Which, okay, so this whole thing looks like one big, whatchamacallit, assembly. So I bet if you took that off, you could get to this valve cover pretty easy and change that. I don't even know how bad the back one is. I can't even see it. But yeah, I mean, it's a 3800 Supercharged. What do you expect from this thing, you know? Let's give it a whack. She's just loyal. You know what I mean? She'll run until she don't. I'll probably run longer than the earth is going to spin. But hey, that was an easy fix. It cost me $22 for the standard motor products or whatever. Here, I got the box. Standard ignition. Here's the part number. PS279. And yeah, all it was is the oil pressure sensor. I guess just there's a diaphragm in here for the sensor that blew internally and it started spraying oil out through the plug. So I had the same thing happen on a 4-liter Jeep. So hey, she's a driver again. Is it good? No. Will it run, drive, and stop? Yes. So it could get your kid to school, you know, for a couple of years maybe. And it's a SS. Let's see. Is there any smoke coming out the tailpipe? I don't think so. I don't see any. It is running extremely rich. And that is because of that O2 sensor I mentioned, which I'm not going to replace the O2 sensor, but I might get under there and just fix the wiring. Let me see if I can see it from down here. Oh yeah, way back there. Where'd you go, bud? Oh, there you are. See those wires right there? They go from the O2 sensor to, I'm assuming, the ECU. Not sure where the other half of the wires are, but they're probably there somewhere. But hey, we got her to stop leaking. We got her running again. I'll check some other fluids on this, but I don't really know that I need to do anything else to this thing. It's just, she's just gonna run, I guess. Let me hear that supercharger one more time. I'm kind of addicted to that. Listening to that. I'm gonna throw one of those cheap cold air intake funnels on this so I can hear it. I'm gonna go slide this thing around town with torque steer the shit out of it, you know? Anyways, that's gonna be one of those quick, simple videos from Burger Town Garage. And you know, consider throwing a like and subscribe at me, you know, and you'll see more $300 shitbox cars that get fixed and then, you know, beaten on and then eventually sold. Man, it's really smoky in here now. All that oil smoke is just getting to me. Anyways, consider liking and subscribing. There will be more of this crap. As long as I've got a garage and I've got money to buy cars with, I'm going to be buying shitty cars with them. And that's just the way she goes there, bud. So anyways, anyways, that outro got a little crazy there. I apologize. So, until next time, I'll see you guys later. And hopefully we'll see more crappy little cars like this in the future. Peace.